अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रीशैलेशदयापात्रं धीभक्त्यादिगुणार्णवं यतीन्द्रप्रवणं वन्दे रम्यजामातरं मुनिं लोकाचार्याय गुरवे कृष्णपादस्य सूनवे संसारभोगि सन्तष्टजीवजीवातवे नमः. வாழி உலகாசிரியன் வாழி அவர் மன்னுகுலம் வாழி முடும்பை என்னும் மாநகரம் வாழி மனம் சூழ்ந்த பேரின்பமல்கு மிகநல்லா இனம் சூழ்ந்திருக்கும் இருப்பு. This is in continuation with the previous video that I had posted titled vishvAsabhangaH. Let me come directly to the point. We had seen up to this item called why Panchamahayajnam is not performed. We saw how Panchamahayajnam, all five of them are not performed by Paramaikantis in a way ordained by the Vaidika Sutras for a reason, and that reason was also told in detail. Only one or two of them will be are actually practiced. So continuing from there, okay, let us see some of the goof-ups that our friend Vishvas Vasuki has done in his videos in the pursuit of showing that Tengalai people are wrong. Okay, so Vasudeva Samhita, he quotes from the Vasudeva Samhita and says this is what the Tengalayars take as an excuse to not do Vishvadeva. This is a fabricated pramanam. Okay, we will come to the fabrication later, but let me take this pramana first. So he says Madhyana Nantaram Devi Vishvadevam Vinara. This screenshot that you see here is of Vishvas Vasuki. It is in his own video. I have just taken a screenshot of it. So he says Vasudeva Samhitayam ayam shlokaha moolam tu adrishtam Madhyananantaram Devi Vishvadevam Vinarame Anuyagastadakaryaha Paramaikantibir Dvijaihi. I'll just set a small context here. About 2 years ago, or a little more than 2 years ago, I was talking to Vishvas on WhatsApp, and some topic came up and I posted this saying, see, Vasudeva Samhita has this shloka, that is why we don't do Vishvadeva. This is quoted in the Sattvanushtana Dharpana. He immediately wrote this, he typed on his cell phone or on the computer and sent me this Madhyananantaram Devi and said, see here it is Madhyananantaram. If your Acharyas are abiding by the Shastras, then at least they should do before noon. After noon only we should not do Vishvadeva. At least before noon you can do Vishvadeva. I said, for which I said, this okay, I understood that this is by oversight. I said, sir, this is not by, no, this is not supposed to be Madhyananantaram. Please see, this is the screenshot that I shared with him. This is from that Sattvanushtana Dharpana book. So I shared him this and said, it is Madhyaganantaram Devi Vishvadevam Vinarame Anuyagastadakaryaha Paramaikantibir Dvijaihi. This and then he did not respond to it, so I thought he had corrected his spelling, but after 2 years or even more, I am surprised to see the same Madhyananantaram here now. And based on this Madhyananantaram, he has proposed some more things which I will show now. So he says Madhyananantaram Devi, after noon, Vishvadevam Vinarame Anuyagastadakaryaha. So according to him, his version of this shloka, one person should not do Vishvadeva after noon, that is after Madhyana, and they should eat the food directly. This is what he says. And the actual goof up comes here. He says he proposes to give different meanings to the shloka, even if it were to be true. Even if he accepted the shloka to be true, he said he would give other meanings. Let us see what meanings he gives.
Let us say that this verse is valid and true. What then? Well, if it is real, it can be understood in other ways as well. One can take secondary meanings for terms such as Anuyaga, or even the term Dvijaihi here. Maybe it refers to a special adhikari, for example, sannyasis or something, right? There are so many possible solutions. please show us the text. We will guide you as to how it should be understood.
Alright. So he says, please show us the text and we will guide you as to how it has to be understood. He expects us to go and say, sir, holy sir, here is my text. Please tell me how to understand the Sanskrit here. For which he would say, Dvija, I will give some alternate meanings to Dvija, Anuyaga and all. If he has read Vedanta Acharya well, then he should have said Anuyaga has no other meaning than saying it is Antaryami Aradhanam, nothing else. Alright, so I don't know what other meanings he would give for Anuyaga. He did not mention that. Anyway, for Dvija, thankfully he said only sannyasi, he did not mean bird. Dvija means bird. Otherwise, we should have trusted that even birds do Vishvadeva, right? Okay, mockery aside, I should not be mocking you. Sannyasi, you say Dvija can mean a special adhikari like sannyasi. Do you think a sannyasi is allowed to do Vishvadeva? Is he supposed to do Vishvadeva? If he is not supposed to do Vishvadeva, then what is it doing Madhyananandaram and Madhyanat Purvam? That does not matter at all. I wonder where you get these meanings, how you come up with these creative ideas. But unfortunately, these are laughable arguments that you have. Like sannyasis, it is being ordained to sannyasis that they should not do Vishvadeva after noon. Okay, with this peanut brain, you say, you propose to guide us on how we should understand the texts. First, you please understand the text correctly, and then we will see. Alright, first please give up the feeling that you are the sole guardian or sole custodian of all knowledge in this world. Please give that up. Only then you can improve. Okay, now comes the main thing. He has been saying that Shuddha Sattvam Swami and they have, all those people have been fabricating lies, fabricating on pramanas. Vasudeva Samhita is also one such, he says. He laughs, he mocks, does whatnot. And he says Vasudeva Samhita is one such. He says it is not found in any shop, major shop, bookstore. It is not found online. So where are you making this up? Details cut apart. I will directly come to the Vishayam here. Here is a paper. I open a PDF. Here is a paper submitted by Professor Veeranarayana Pandurangi, Professor Srinivasa which says review of the whoever's Madhva's Unknown Literary Sources Part 2, Pancharatra text in Madhvacharya. So in this paper, they have shown the sources here. So here it says Vasudeva Samhita MS fragments, that is manuscript fragments. So if you see, they have listed all these sources. He says here is a list of all manuscripts of Pancharatra texts collected by Daniel Smith and deposited in the Cleveland Public Library. It is in the Smith's Agama collection. Alright, here is the footnote. He says, thanks to Shisha Rao who procured this list from that library, the Smith Agama collection, Sanskrit books and manuscripts relating to Pancharatra studies, a descriptive catalogue by Daniel Smith, forward by Agehananda Bharati and whatever. So, in the Cleveland Public Library, there is this catalogue of Pancharatra collection in which this Vasudeva Samhita is found. It is in this line. Alright, so that should prove that Vasudeva Samhita did exist, if not today in India, but still it exists as a text. Vasudeva Samhita is not a cooked up story, it is not a concocted Samhita. And this is very much present in Karnataka Sanskrit University web page itself. This is the official website of Karnataka KSU, and in the official website of KSU, this paper is presented by those two people. If you know, in the Sanskrit circles, these two professors are very, very famous, very popular, so you should know their trustworthiness. Alright, and mind you, I did not stop there. I did not just trust this paper and sit here. I actually contacted the Cleveland Public Library, for which I got this mailed response after a few weeks. not after a few days, not after a few weeks. So I have masked this because it contains some personal names, IDs, etc. So I have masked that. Otherwise, you have a snippet of the email that they have written to me. It says, "Dear Srinivasarajan, to follow up your inquiry, we can confirm that the Vasudeva Samhita is listed among the Pancharatra texts represent in the Smithagama collection. We have attached a single PDF with annotated excerpts from the published descriptive list of collection. These scans provide concise visual confirmation that Vasudeva Samhita is included at the catalogue level." I am sparing the viewers of all other details because it is a lengthy mail where he says, where the librarian writes that this is still not a published work. So if you want the manuscript to be shared with you, then it comes with a cost. Scanning, the cost of scanning per page, and we have to also look at what is the condition of the palm leaf manuscript. All those we have to look. We have to get the required time to scan all of those. It comes with a cost. Let me know your approach. Okay, I have asked them. It is okay to. It is okay even if it comes with a cost. I understand. Please let me know what it costs and how long it takes. I am yet to get an answer. Let us see. But it is clearly mentioned in the Cleveland Public Library. It is present. Alright. If you are interested, please fly down to Cleveland and read Vasudeva Samhita. Okay, Agama Pramanya goof-ups. Agama Pramanya is taken by this Agama Pramanya is quoted by Vishvas to show that Vasudeva Samhita should not be taken into consideration. Alright, he says if a person is unable to understand Agama in its true spirit, he must give up the Agama and stick to Vaidika Kriyas. Very well, this is understandable, that is understandable English. So I need not explain what he means. I will first, before going to the other points on this slide, I will first give you a picture of what he has quoted and how he has understood, and then come back to the points. He says, Nanmatra bhavatam bhashyakaranam viruddhamsha apramanya vidhanam kathamiva yadyapi virodha kritva chintaya parihritah tadapi gambhira nyaya sagaram avagadum aparibridhanam komala manasa vedanadaro mabhud ityevam param. Nama. This green text is what is there in the Agama Pramanyam. Yes, the text is as is. For that he gives his own interpretation in black. He says, Nama Pancharatra Vaidikayor Virodho na Vastutaha Vartate. In reality, there is no contention between Pancharatrikas and Vaidikas. However, that is Pancharatra and Vaidika Prakriyas. However, Yadi Tatha Alpadibhyo Bhati. If some dim-wit person thinks that there is an apparent contradiction, in Pancharatragata Viruddhamshastyajyaha, he says the Virodha Amsha in Pancharatra should be given up. That is what he say. He understands it. Understands it. Kritva chintaya parihritaha as. Kritva chintaya parihritaha. Kaf parihritaha? Agamaha parihritaha. He keeps away the agama. This is how our Vishvas Vasuki understands. But I will come to this. The meaning given by Vishvas. He says, sir, if you are a Komala Manasa like Shuddha Sattva Varadacharya, this is again the blasphemy that he has been doing in all of these videos. That is the only thing he is doing. He has been doing mockery, blasphemy, talking ill about elders and so on. That is his Samskriti. He knows Samskrita but has no Samskriti. That is very clear from his videos. Fine. Sir, if you are Komala Manasa like Shuddha Sattva Varadacharya, don't be misguided by Pancharatra Agama statements that you cannot understand. He says, don't be misguided by Pancharatra Agamas. You don't have the capacity to do Nyaya Sanchara properly. All those statements we said, Gambhira Nyaya Sagaram Avagadum Aparibridana Komala Manasa. For that he has given this meaning, saying, you don't have the capacity to do Nyaya Sanchara properly, you leave it. Leave it in the sense, you leave the Agama and follow the Vedic injunctions. This is what he clearly shows. Here, he refers to Alavandar. This is what the Alavandar clearly shows is what Vishvas says. Now, this is from his GitHub, whatever document that he has shown. Now, I am pasting a screenshot of the snippet from the book. I have shot a photo from the book and placed it here. Please see. It says, Virodhepi vikalpasyate bhagavat shastra vedayoho virodhayeva nastiti prageva pratyapadayam Before, after that only this Nanmatra Bhavatam Bhashakaranam comes. Before this Nanmatra, before this statement, there is this shloka. Why did Vishvas leave out that shloka? Or even if he knows that there exists a shloka, can you please give the meaning of the shloka in accordance with your own meaning, that is, without opposing your meaning, interpretation. Here he clearly says, Virodhepi vikalpasyat Bhagavat Shastra Vedayoho. When there is an apparent contention between Bhagavat Shastra and Veda, take the vikalpa, take an option. You are free to choose between agama and Veda. Where is Alavandar saying leave agama? You are saying, you are claiming that Alavandar is asking you to leave agama. This is what he clearly shows you claim. And he says, you leave it and follow the Vedic injunctions. He says, where is he saying? He says, vikalpasyat, virodepi vikalpasyat. Also, please note this usage, Bhagavat Shastra Vedayoho. Bhagavat Shastram. This has 5 letters. Vedaha. This has 2 letters. Which word should have come first? It had to be Veda Bhagavat Shastra Yoho. Alavandar does not know this fact. But why is he writing Bhagavat Shastra Vedayoho? That itself is an indicator that Bhagavat Shastra holds more weightage. Abhyarhitatvam. It holds more weightage than Vedas. I will prove why it holds more weightage from Alavandar's views only some 2 slides later, don't worry. But now know that there is a reason why this usage is done by Alavandar. Bhagavat Shastra Vedayoha. Abhyarhitatvam Purvam. Abhyarhitam Purvam. That rule is taken here. That is why Bhagavat Shastra is given more weightage. That said, now let us see the actual meaning of these lines. Not stopping at where you have stopped, but completing the paragraph. Alright? He says, Nanmatra Bhavatam Bhashyakaranam Viruddhamsha Apramanya Katamiva. He asks, Alavandar asks the opponent, how, on what basis is your Bhashyakara terming the apparent oppositions as Apramanyam in Agama? On what basis? Yadyapi Virodaha Kritva Chintaya Parihritaha. Even if there is an apparent contradiction, Kritva Chintaya, contemplating well, Parihritaha. Here Parihritaha nama Agama Parihritaha iti noktam Virodhayeva Parihritaha. Only the Virodham is taken out. It is resolved. The opposition is resolved. Agama and Veda stand at the same level always. No doubt. Have no doubt. Alright? Yadyapi Virodaha Kritva Chintaya Parihritaha. The Virodham is Parihrita. The Virodha is Parihrita. Tadapi Gambhiranyaya Sagaram Avagadum Aparibridana Komalamanasam Vedanadaro Mabhudityevam Param. He says, this also I need not have done. But you know why I am doing? Why all of this Virodha Parihara is being done? This Virodha Pariharam is done because for people who are not so mature enough to understand all the Nyaya Sancharas and reconcile all the Veda and Agamas, the Veda, they should not think that Veda and Agamas are poles apart. Veda does the Anadaram for Agama. That should not be understood that way. Only for that sake, all this Virodha Pariharam is done. Otherwise, first of all, Virodha Eva Nastiti Prageva Pratyapadayam. There is no Virodham. That is what I have been telling in all these previous paragraphs. There is no Virodham. Even if there is Virodham, that is reconciled. Don't worry. You are stopping at this. Mabhuti Ityevam Baram. What happened to the next line? The last line which says, Yathaivahi Bhagavato Jaiminehe Karma Phala Upanyasaha Karma Shraddha Samvardhanaya. Karma Shraddha Samvardhanaya Jaiminehe Bhagavataha Jaiminehe Karma Phalopanyasa Kritaha. Jaimini did the exposition. He expounded the fruits that one gets by doing some karma, because only then people get attracted to do that karma. They will get that shraddha to do the karma. Therefore, he started talking about fruits for every karma. To engage people in that line, he did something. Same way, to have both these parties, the Agamikas and the Vaidikas, in line and saying they are not very different. The Agama Prakriya is not very different from the Vaidika Prakriya. Therefore, this Virodha Parihara is done. Where is Alavandar saying that Agama Parihritaha? This is your goof up. Okay, I will come. Here Vishvas says punaha agre spashtikaroti yamunaryah. This whole thing is very much more clear in the upcoming statements of Yamunarya. So he says, those statements are given here in green. He says, ye punaha savitrenu vachana prabriti trayi dharma tyagena ekayena shruti vihitanev chatvarimshat samskaran kurvate tepi swashakha gृह्योक्तम अर्थम यथा अवद अनुतिष्ठमानाः न शाखान्तरीय कर्मानुष्ठानात् ब्राह्मण्यात् प्रत्यवन्ते. The meaning for this paragraph given by Vishvas is, the followers of Ekayana Shaka did not lose Brahmanya during the time of Alavandar. They did not lose out of Brahmanya even when they did not practice Vaidika Sandhya Vandana and other karma, because they followed their own Shaka called Ekayana Shaka. Just like we have Apastamba Sutra, Katyayana Sutra and all, they have this Ekayana Sutra. This is what Vishvas says. Unfortunately, that is not the fact. Even the agama clearly says, please follow your Grihya Sutras if you find that comfortable. Otherwise, here are some other things. Alright? Anyway, further he says, Sarvatra hi jati charana gotradhikaradi vyavastita eva samachara upalabhyante vilakshanaschya trayi vihita swargaputradi vishayopabhoga sadhana aindragneyadi karmadhikaribhyo vijebhyah trayanta ekayana shruti vihita विज्ञान अभिगमन उपादान इज्या प्रभृति भगवत् प्राप्त एकोपायक कर्माधिकारिणो मुमुक्षवो ब्राह्मणा इति नो भयेषाम् अपि अन्योन्य शाखा विहित कर्मानुष्ठानम् अब्राह्मण्यम् आपादयति. For this he gives this meaning. He says Alavandar, he here meaning Alavandar is saying, if you are a follower of Ekayana Shakha, it is fine if you follow the instructions specific to your Shakha. If you are a follower of Taittiriya Shakha, then it is wrong if you follow Ekayana Shaka instructions. He says, agama, if you follow agama, then you have to follow agama. Otherwise, if you follow the Vaidika, then that is wrong. Similarly, if you are a Vaidika, you have to follow Vaidika principles. If you follow agama, it is wrong. Okay? Meaning, here she says, if you are a Taitiriyaka and don't follow your Shaka, then you are no longer fit to be called a Brahmana. Abrahmanyam anyonya shakha vihita karma ananushtanam abrahmanyam apadagati. It gives off abrahmanyam to a person, therefore you should not follow agama. This is what Vishvas says. Therefore he concludes, evam sarvepi vaishnavaha swasva shakhanusarena karmani kuryuhu ekayana shakhinameva tatra mahan vyatyaso vartate iyam api Vasudeva Samhitoktihi ekayana shakhi vishayekaiva syat iti anumatavyam. So consider this Vasudeva Shaka also as ekayana shaka principle, and therefore you give up. When you are a Vaidika and you follow agama prakriya, then you are doomed. You have to give up Brahmanya. So therefore you follow what is Vaidika. This is the meaning he gives. So if you come here, now we will see, this is the meaning he has given. But let me ask you, Vishvas, if the whole text is written to say that agama should not be followed by a Vaidika, isn't it stupid? Because first understand why Agama Pramanya book came into being, why Alavandar had to write that book. Earlier during his times, during Alavandar's times, it is very much popular that people from other matas, Acharyas from other matas, they condemned Pancharatra and other Vaishnava agamas because of the Jivotpattivada and all, which is not in agama, but they assumed that agama is telling about Jivotpatti and therefore they condemned it. Also, for them, this was one point of contention which says, see, your agama says some other prakriya, the Vedas says some other prakriya. So these are not in, they are not in agreement. So therefore, your agama is apramanika. This is what they had been telling. To negate that, Alavandar wrote this book called Agama Pramanyam. He established, through Agama Pramanyam, he established that Pancharatra Agamas are on par with Vedas. Here, when I say Bhagavat Shastra Vedayoho, it is actually meaning Bhagavat Shastra is much higher, elated. But at least for the Virodhis, for the Purva Bhakshis, he says it is at least on par with Vedas, not inferior to Vedas. Because in that case, if you say Yamunacharya wrote this agama pramanya and meant as what you have written here, saying if there is an apparent contradiction, leave the agama and hold on to Veda, then why is he even naming the book Agama Pramanya? He had to name it Veda Pramanya or Agama Apramanya. Isn't it logical? There is a contention between Veda and Agama. Veda says do Vishvadeva, Agama says don't do Vishvadeva. There is a clear apparent contradiction here. So when these two apparent contradictions are here, what do we take? Leave the Agama, take the Vedika injunction, but call this is what the book contains. The content of the book is this, but call it Agama Pramanya. How stupid an argument this can be. How stupid an argument can this be? Please realize this. He had to call it Agama Apramanya. The very fact that he is calling it Pramanya means this not doing Vishvadeva is also a pramana for you. Okay. You say that one must give up agama if he lacks the capacity to understand it in its true spirit. So like here you say, if you are a Komala Manasa, don't be misguided by Pancharatra agama statements that you cannot understand, right? Alright, sir, I do not have the capacity to understand as much as you, thankfully not as much as you. So if I lack the capacity to understand agama, I will leave it. Can I extend the same logic to say Apastama Sutra also? Because if I don't understand Apastama Sutra, the most convenient thing is to leave it. Because there is another thing which I can do more easily, which I can understand more easily. Nastikya. So I will hold on to it. Is this even an argument? Is this the ideal solution? If you cannot understand, leave it. So if one person cannot understand the Indian Constitution, leave the Indian Constitution. If one person cannot understand the Indian Penal Code, dump it. You will be however you want. That cannot punish you. Are you out of your mind or are you being sane while arguing this way? What should be the ideal solution if one is unable to understand any scriptural injunction? It should be to put some effort to understand. That putting effort is what he calls Kritva Chintaya Parihritaha. That Kritva Chintaya shows that effort to make a person understand. And with that, the Virodha is removed. I hope this is very much clear to you now. Okay, now if you see this, there are all these fill in the blanks, right? So with these fill in the blanks, we have to trust, given whatever these paragraphs is typed here, given these, we have to understand, there is no way we have to say, okay, whatever you say is right. But here I give a full picture without any blanks, without leaving out any quote. This is from the book Agama Pramanyam. I have shot a picture and pasted the picture here. Pasted two pictures because of the length. I have pasted it has two pictures, that is all. So I have given the full context here. If you read this, you will know what Adavandar's Hridayam is. Yadapyuktam Garbhadanadi Dahanta Samskarantara Sevanat Bhagavatana Abrahmanyam iti Yadapi Uktam. Even when you have told, when your understanding of scripture injunctions have told that Garbhadanadi Dahanta Samskara, different types of samskara are followed by Bhagavatas. Bhagavatas here means for people who follow Agama Prakriya. So for those Bhagavatas, because they follow different set of samskaras, even if it is said that Tesham Abrahmanyam Bhagavatanam Abrahmanyam iti Yadapyuktam, even if it is told, then Tatrapi Ajnanameva Aparadhyati. Then it is a fault of Ajnanam. Na punar ayushmato doshaha. Yopa, ungaludiya dosha illenna. It is not your fault. It is your ajnana that is acting there. Yadete vamsa paramparaya vajasaneya shakam adhiyanaha katyayanadi grihyokta margena garbhadanadi samskaran kurvate. You people follow all the Vaidika kriyas. It is not your fault. It is only your ajnana that you are not accepting the Bhagavatas also. ये पुनः सावित्र्यनुवचन प्रभृति त्रयी धर्म त्यागेन एकायन श्रुति विहितानेव चत्वारिंशत् संस्कारान् कुर्वते तेपि स्वशाखागृह्योक्तम् अर्थं यथावद् अनुतिष्ठमानाः. Those people who have given up the Trayi karma, that is the Trayi means Vedas, Vedic karma, like the Savitri Anuvachana, etc. So even when they have done the Tyaga of it, Ekayana Shruti Vihitaneva Chatvarincha Sanskaram Kurvate, and strictly follow the 40 samskaras that are told in the Ekayana Shakha, then tepi swashakha gृह्योक्तमर्थं यथावद् अनुदिष्टमानाः न शाकान्तर्य कर्म अननुष्ठानात् ब्राह्मण्यात् प्रच्यवन्ते. So they also are considered as having completely followed swashakha, and they do not get the abrahmanyam, they do not lose out on the brahmanyam as though they have not done the karmas, vihita karmas. Shakantariya karma ananushtanat brahmanyat pratyavante. Shakantaram here means the Vedika shaka, that shaka, the Katyayana shaka, all of those, if that is not followed, they are still not losing out on brahmanyam. Brahmanyat na pratyavante. Anyeshamapi parashakha vihita karma ananushtana nimitta abrahmanya prasangat. In that case, if I am a follower of Apastamba Sutra, I should say Katyayanas are all abrahmanas. If a person follows Katyayana Sutra, he should say Bodhayanas are all abrahmanas. This confusion comes. Therefore, it is not the case. Sarvatra hi jati charana gotra adhikaradi vyavastita eva samachara upalabhyante. Everywhere the dharmas are based on jati, charana, gotra, karma, adhikara and whatnot, many factors. You are using this one line to say, see here, it is jati, gotra and all are there. Just next to it there is one word called adhikara. Where did you leave that? What is that adhikara? What do you think is adhikara? Yadyapi sarvashakha pratyayam ekam karma tathapi na paraspara vilakshanaadhikari sambadha karmaha kvachit samuchchiyante. Yadyapi ekam karma sarvashakha pratyayam. Let us take Vishvadeva for example. It is sarvashakha pratyayam. Every karma for that matter is sarvashakha pratyayam. That means you have to understand that karma from the perspective of all shakhas, not just one. Sarvashakha Pratyaya Nyayam is the name of that Nyaya in the Veda. Sarvashakha Pratyaya Nyaya, Sarva Vedanta Pratyaya Nyayam, all of these exist. Right? Tathapi na paraspara vilakshanadhikari sambadha dharmaha kvachit samuchchiyante. Even then, for dharmas that are ordained to some vilakshana people, some distinct people, some mutually exclusive kind of people, they do not converge in one point. There is no commonality at all. Tathapi na paraspara vilakshanaadhikari sambadha dharmaha kvachit samuchchiyante. Vilakshanascha. Who are those vilakshanas now? Vilakshanadhikari sambadhaha paraspara vilakshanadhikari sambadha dharmaha na samuchchiyante. He said, who are those vilakshanas? Here he defines who are those vilakshanas. Vilakshanascha. This is what you have taken there. Vilakshanascha you have quoted there. Say Trayi vihita swargaputradi vishayopabhoga sadhana aindra agneyadi karmadhikaribhyo dvijebhyaha त्रय्यन्तैकायन श्रुतिविहित विज्ञान अभिगमन उपादान इज्या प्रभृति भगवत्प्राप्त्येकोपायक कर्माधिकारिणो मुमुक्षवो ब्राह्मणा इति न उभयेषामपि अन्योन्यशाखाविहित कर्म अननुष्ठानं ब्राह्मण्यम् अब्राह्मण्यम् आपादयति. He says Trayi vihita, whatever is ordained in the Vedas, in the Purva Bhaga, Trayi vihita, Swarga Putra adi Vishayopabhoga, what having the Swarga Putra etc. as the fruits, Vishayopabhoga, Sadhana. For that, the sadhana is Aindra Agneyadi Karma Adhikaribhyaha. All of these yagas are the karmas ordained for that. So, these people, Dvijas, some Dvijas, one class of Dvijas is that, who follow Trayi Dharma. Another class of people is those who follow Trayanta Ekayana Shruti Vihita. Trayanta Vedanta. Ekayana Shruti Pancharatra agama. So whatever is ordained in these Shruti Vihita, Vijnana, Abhigamana, Upadana, Ijya Prabhriti. So whatever is known from that, the Panchakala Prakriya, Abhigamana, Upadana, Ijya, Swadhyaya, Yoga, all of these are practiced by them. Ijya Prabhriti. Bhagavat Praptyekopayaka Karmadhikarino Mukshavo Brahmanaha. All of these lead to the Prapti of Bhagavan alone. There is no other fruit for this. So these Mumukshu Brahmanas are Vilakshanaha. एते मुमुक्षवो ब्राह्मणाः त्रयी विहित कर्माधिकारिभ्यः द्विजेभ्यः विलक्षणाः. These mumukshu brahmanas who follow agama are more distinct than the people who merely follow Vedic injunctions. This is the reason why I said here he says Bhagavat Shastra Vedayoho. Bhagavat Shastra is given more weightage. Alright, this is the reason. So here he says Vilakshanaha. Therefore, iti, having this vyavastha. So on the one part there is this dvijas who follow their own shakas, so nothing wrong in that. On the other part there is this class of people who follow Pancharatra agamas, which is in line with Vedantas, and there is no harm on them also. Iti na ubhayeshamapi anyonya shakha vihita karma ananushtanam abrahmanyam apadayati. Just because Vaidikas do not follow what is in the Ekayana shakha, that does not make them abrahmana. Just because the people who follow Ekayana shakha are not doing some Vaidika karma, that does not give them abrahmanyam. Is it very clear? Alavandar's words are very clear. Have I misunderstood Sanskritam here? Have I misunderstood Alavandar? Yatha cha ekayana shakhaya apurusheyattvam tatha Kashmira agama pramanya eva prapanchitam iti na iha prastuyate. Even the Ekayana shakha is said to be apurusheya, just like the Vedantas, just like the other Vedas, Trayi Veda. But that is already shown in Kashmir agama pramanya. Yadyapi Pancharatrasya Kritsnasya Vakta Narayana Swayam Ityuktam Tathapi the Vakta of entire Pancharatra is Narayana. This is very clearly said. Even then, the Apaurusheyatvam is very clearly established there. Evam Prapanchitam iti neha prastuyate. That is not being told here for fearing the length of the book. Prakritanam tu Bhagavatanam Savitri Anuvachanadi Trayi Dharma Sambandhasya Sputataram Upalabdhehe Natatyaga Nimitta Vratyatwadi Sandeham Sahate. This does not withstand the sandeha of saying just because these people are giving up the Vaidika karma, they become vratyas. No, this does not stand that sandeham at all, withstand that sandeham at all. He says, so this is what the Panchara, so Agama Pramanya book says. This is the fag end of Agama. With this the Agama Pramanya concludes. But behold, if we go by Vishvas understanding of Agama Pramanya, in the first place, Alavandar and Mamunigal are the first Abrahmanas in our Acharya Parambare. You know why? Because this is the shloka that Alavandar uses to conclude Agama Pramanyam. Tat kalpita yukti bhishakala shakritva tadiyam matam. Nathamunigal established his matam, tadiyam matam. What is that tadiyam matam? That is Bhagavatanam matam, Sattvatam matam. Right? So Sattvata mata is established by Nathamunigal. Tat kalpita yukti bhishakalashaha. By throwing the splinters of his yukti, he warded off all the opponents, and he established his mata of Agama Prakriya. Yat Shishyair Udamardi Sattvata Mata Spardhavata Muddhatihi. With his Shishyas, he made the ego of all the opponents of Agamas die. Yat Chetas Satatam Mukunda Charana Dvandvaspadam Vartate Jiyanatamani Swayoga Mahima Pratyaksha Tattvatriyaha. This is very much evident. He was a great devotee. His mind was set upon the lotus feet of Bhagavan. Let that Nathamuni live for long. Akalpam vilasantu sattvatamata praspardi dushpadhati vyamugdhodhata durvidagdha parishad vaidagdha vidvamsinaha. All of these words of Nathamuni and other Acharyas who have established the Sattvatamata are so glorious. Let them live long. Those glorious words, how are they? Sattvatamata praspardhi dushpadhati vyamugdhodhata durvidagdha parishad vaidagdha vidvamsinaha, pradvamsinaha or vidvamsinaha. So they totally destroy the baseless arguments of those opponents who with ego come and say, no, your agama is nothing, and so forth, all of their egotistic statements are destroyed completely by these words. Srimannatha Munindra Vardhita Dhiyo Nirdhuta Vishvashivaha Santas Santata Gadyapadya Padavi Hridyana Vadyoktayaha. That is what he says. So, going by these words, first of all, Natha Munigal should not be considered a Brahmana because he is of Shatamarshana Gotra, Apastamba Sutra, Yajushaka Dhyayi, but he has established the Agama Mata, he followed the Agama Mata. Then he is an Abrahmana. Sorry to say. Okay, at the end of his video, our dear friend Vishvas Vasuki, he so gladly wishes so much good for us. He says, hope that like other Tengalai Shri Vaishnavas and all Manavala Vaishnava Sadachara Shilas, you will be Panchakala Parayanas. These are the exact words of Vishvas Vasuki. He says other Tengalai Vaishnavas, he means all his Tengalai friends who agree with him for all that he says. Alright, so like those Tengalai Shri Vaishnavas and all Manavala Vaishnavas Sadachara Shilas. Other Tengalai Vaishnavas are Durachara Shilas. He has openly told that Anachara, Durachara, he has used these words. So, all Vadagalai Vaishnava Sadachara Shilas, you will be Panchakala Parayanas. He says, like the Vadagalai Sadachara Shilas, hope you will be Panchakala Parayanas. Thank you so much for that wish, Mr. Vishvas. But please tell me whether that Panchakala Prakriya is a Vaidika concept or an Agama concept. If it is a Vaidika concept, what is Agama doing with it? And where in these Vaidika sutras or where in Vedas have they told this Panchakala Prakriya? If it is an Agama concept, then what are you doing with Panchakala Prakriya? You should be staying away from it. In all your comments on your posts, you said self-goal and all, right? Do you know what is self-goal? This is called self-goal. Okay, the last part of this video, okay, one more part is there, fine. The shishtachara. Well, let me quickly talk about the shishtachara part. Somehow this person is so much agitated by the word shishtachara, right? He is so much against it, he has so much personal hatred against shishtachara that he has gone to the extent of now calling Sri Shauri Raja Iyengar Swami as Mr. Shauri Raja. He has gone to that extent. He does not, there is no limit to his ignorance, there is no limit to his misdeeds at all in these videos. Okay, to understand what is Shishtachara, first let me tell you what is Pramanam. Pramakaranam, the tool for getting knowledge is Pramanam. And that Pramanam for Vishishtadvaitis is 3 in number, not more, not less. Pratyaksha, Anumana, Agama, or Shabda Pramanam. Pratyaksha Anumana is out of scope for this video. Shabda Pramanam, what is Shabdam? The Shabda Pramanam is defined as not just Vedas. It is defined as Anapta, Anukta, Vachanam, Shabdam. Anapta, Anukta Vachanam is Shabda Pramanam. Why should it be called as Anapta, Anukta Vachanam? First we have to understand who is an Apta. Then we know who is an Anapta and what is not told by them. Apta here means the person who instructs us for our benefit, for our welfare, without seeking anything in return. So they are our rishis, all our alvars, all acharyas. These are the Aptas for us, whom we have all been following till now, whether it is in the form of Vaidika Sutras or Nalayana Divya Prabandham or the commentaries or those Sadachara Nirnayas, whatever it is, we have been following all of these people. So they are our Aptas. Anapta is anyone other than this. Anaptena Anuktam Vachanam. Anaptaihi Anuktam Vachanam. Right? The words of those words which are not spoken by Anapta is taken as Pramanam. Why all of this circus? Because Veda should be accepted, right? Aptavakyam Pramanam can be accepted, but then Veda will fall out because Veda is Apaurusheyam. So to fit Vedas also, it is turned this way. They say Anapta Anukta Vachanam Shabda Pramanam. So Veda is also a Shabda Pramanam. Behold, at the same time, all the Rishi, Alvar, Acharyas works which are in line with Vedas are also equal pramanam. They are called Shabda pramanam. No doubt our Acharyas accept that Vedas are the primary pramanam. I don't know who has counseled you, who has advised you that Tengalais do not consider Vedas as primary pramanam. You have mocked so much in one of your videos. Monkey, you have counsel of monkeys. You are a monkey yourself. You do not have the capacity to understand and so on, right? Please play that to yourself. The counsel that you have, saying Tengalais have this, Tengalais interpret it this way, Tengalais think this way. Whoever is giving you that counsel is a very bad Tengalai. That is all I can say. A totally unlearned, uninformed Tengalai. This is all I can say. Alright. So Tengalais do not deny the fact that Vedas are primary pramanam. But then why do we say Dharmagna Samayah Pramanam as the main or the more important source of knowing things? Because you and I do not have the capacity to understand Vedas in their true purport, their true spirit. One Vishvadeva, we have been talking for these many hours. You don't know what you are speaking, and I am standing on my head to make you understand. Alright? All those Acharya Sadanashtana Darpana, you see how much Tarkam he has written. Page after page after page he has written so much Tarkam. He has quoted from so many scriptures. Even if after all of that, if you are not understanding, then please realize that Vedas it is not very easy to understand Vedas. This is why Parashara Bhattar very clearly says, Shastrajnanam Bahuklesham Buddhesh Chalanakaranam. Shastrajnanam is very, very tough. Very Bahuklesham, it is very difficult. It gives so much difficulty for us. Buddhesh Chalanakaranam. It can clearly confuse the mind of people. Very, very easily it can confuse people. So please approach an Acharya and stay safe, he says. Right? So, Dharmagna Samayah Pramanam Vedascha, when this is taken from Apastamba Sutra, oh my God, how much you have mocked, You say this is all nonsense. Dharmagna Samaya is the Pramanam, Veda is the secondary Pramanam, and you say this is nonsense. First, who said it is secondary Pramanam? It is primary only. We also know that Buddha is not a Pramanam, our Acharya is a Pramanam. Your Mullah is not a Pramanam, our Acharya is a Pramanam, all we know. We also know that it is only because they abide by the Vedas. If you do not know, please understand that Nambillai also clearly says Alvars are taken as Pramanas only because they abide by Vedantas 100%. We are very clear in that. However, Dharmagna Samaya is given that importance because of this fact that we cannot understand Dharma so easily on our own. If we are left on our own, then we will only understand it in the wrong sense, just as you are doing right now. That is why it is there in the first place. Please tell me, Dharmagna Samayah Pramanam, what was the need for Apastamba to write that? He could have as well written Veda Pramanam, done and dusted, closed. Right? Haradatta's commentary, Apastamba Sutra, that video, this video, that person telling something, this person telling something. Why all this confusion, unnecessary confusion? Haradatta trying to do all circus to establish who is the Dharmagna. Why all this? Veda Pramanam, done and dusted. Why take the effort of saying Dharmagna Samayah Pramanam? And that too, why in the very first place? Veda Pramanam. At the fag end, if you want, you could have said Dharmagna Samayopi Pramanam. That is not done by Apastamba. He says Dharmagna Samayah Pramanam. That in fact is the reason why this Shruti Vakya is in place. Athayati de karma vichikitsa vritta vichikitsa vasyat. Karma vichikitsa karmani agnihotra-dini vrittam acharaha. So in any of these, if you have a doubt, approach a Brahmana who is well versed, who is conversant with all the Shastras, who has the good discretion power, who can think well, and approach him and get the things clarified. whatever he does is pramanam for you. Yatha te tatra varteran tata tatra vartethaha. Whatever he does is the pramanam for you. That actually is shown in Dharmagna Samaya of pramanam. We are not denying Veda as the Parama Pramanam. We are only telling what should be the first step for us to understand Vedas. That is Dharmagna Samayaha. Itihasa Puranabhyam Vedam Samubhabrahmyeti Vibet Alipashrutad Vedaha Mamayam Pratarishyati. This is also from one of the Puranas. This in fact Emberumanar has taken and mentioned in Sri Bhashyam. We have to understand Vedas based on Itihasa and Puranas only. Otherwise, Vedamata gets disturbed, saying this person came to kill me. He comes and misinterprets my words. This is the importance of shishtachara. Okay, I have given a snippet of Smriti Ratnakara here. Okay, earlier our friend Vishvas had said that Vedanta Acharya said Yugantarangalile we can take the food from, we could have taken food from the Abrahmanas, that is Shudras, but in Kali Yuga that is not possible. Where did he get that Yugantarangalile? If it is not in Apastamba Sutra, where did he get it? In one of these books like this Smriti Ratnakara. May not be directly from Smriti Ratnakara, but there are some books like this, right? I have taken an example from this. This is the Kali Yuga Dharma in Smriti Ratnakara, which totally rejects all of these things and it says you should avoid all of this in Kali Yuga. So the opening statement there is, it says Tatha Anyepi Dharmagna Samaya Pramanaka Santi. These are the practices. These practices are there. Te Yatha. They are like whatever. This one. Alright. And these are Nivartitani Karmani Vyavasthapurvakam Budaihi. All of these have been removed as all of these have been rejected by Buddhas. The next statement he says Samayaschapi sadhunam pramanam vedavad bhaveriti. Samayaschapi sadhunam. So whatever is the sadhu vritta, that has to be understood, that has to be given the status of pramana on par with the Vedas. Vedavat pramanam bhavet. So this is from the Smriti Ratnakara to show how shishtachara works. And you have talked about Ramayana. So I will, because it is already very lengthy right now, so I will spare the viewers of showing the video and all, but in short let me put this across. While talking about Ramayana, you have talked about Sri Shauri Raja Iyengar Swami, whom you call Mr. Shauri Raja. Look at your Samskriti. So that Shauri Raja Iyengar Swami has quoted the first part of this shloka, which says Sukshma Paramadurgnyayaha Satan Dharma Plavangama. You say he has cunningly avoided showing the next half. That is Hridistha Sarva Bhutanam and Atma Veda Shubha Shubham. Because according to you, that second half shows that dharma can be understood by anyone. So why Dharmagna Samayam? That is your conclusion. Let us see if Govindaraja agrees with you. Here he says Sukshmaha Atindriyaha Sukshmaha Paramadurgnyayaha Satam Dharma Plavangama. You probably understood it as Satam Dharma Sukshmaha Tvaya Paramadurnyayaha Plavangama. Probably you understood this way. That is, the dharmas followed by the sat here is shishtas. The dharma which is followed by jnanis is not known by you, O Vali, is probably what you meant. But unfortunately, Govindaraja did not mean that. He says Sukshmaha Atindriyaha. It is not comprehensible by, it is not comprehended by any of the senses, whether it is external or internal, whether it is the mind, it can be comprehended. Atayeva, only because of that only, Satam api paramadurgnyayaha. Even the shishtas, even the jnanis cannot understand dharma at ease. Durnyayaha kimuta bhavadrishasya iti bhavaha. Then what to speak of you? Plavangama. Plavangama is a monkey. What to speak of you? Even for Sat, it is not, it is Paramadurgnaya. It is not so easy to understand, he says. whatever you have said in your video, Vasishta, Vishwamitra, come, I will instruct Dharma. Here, Rama is not saying. Valinam prati Ramena Uttamidam, you say, right? Na sarvobi Vali. No, everyone is not Vali. Only to Vali this is instructed. So he did not instruct this to Vasishta, Vishwamitra, Lakshmana or anyone, because they all could know Dharma. Please understand who is Sat here. Satamapi Paramadurgnyayaha. Even for Vasishta, Vishwamitra, Lakshmana, whoever it is very, very difficult to understand. They might have understood, but it is very difficult to understand. Tarhi koveti ityatraha hridistaha iti. Hridistaha antaryami. Sarvabhutanam hridistaha sarvantaryami. Aluk. Atma Paramatma. Shubhashubham Shubhashubhakaranam veti ityartaha. Here he concludes saying, Sukshmam Dharmam Paramatmana Maya Vina Kovetum Dakshaha iti Bhavaha. Oh Vali, apart from the Paramatma, myself, which other person can claim to have understood Dharma? No one. Absolutely no one. That is why shishtachara is very, very important. Whatever is practiced by our purvas, we follow. Alright? Okay, then there was this Ghantanada Vicharam. Right? For the Ghantanada, whether ringing a bell is allowed in Griharcha or not, that is examined by Sri Shuddha Sattva Varadacharya Swami in Sadanusthana Darpana, and he gives many tarkas, many logic, many pramanas and all, for which our dear Vishvas Vasuki has again used his mockery to talk about Vatsalya. Again, to cut down on time, I am not playing these videos. I will just give the gist of what is there in the video. He says, for Tengalai people, Vatsalya anyway means dosha bhogyatvam. So if you are doing more doshas, then Perumal enjoys himself. He mocks all of this. He says, Perumal enjoys himself and all those actions, the tone and all, so no. It shows your Samskriti there. Anyway, so he says, the Vatsalya here means dosha bhogyatva, so do more dosha. If you think ringing a bell, here he says shake the bell. You shake the bell more, he says. Right? So if ringing the bell is considered to be a dosha, then do more of it, he says. You know why? Because that gives more bhogam to Perumal, because he has Vatsalya. Dude, what line of argument is this? Shall I turn it to you? Shall I turn the same argument towards you now? For Vadagalayars, Vatsalya means dosha adarshitvam. Let me not sit and argue whether it is dosha adarshitva, dosha bhogyatva, let that be whatever it is. For Vadagalayars, it is dosha adarshitvam. So that means Perumal will not keep an eye on your faults. He will turn a blind eye towards your faults. Then what is all of this noise around not doing sins, being so careful about not doing wrong things and all? Do whatever pleases you. Even if it is against Shastras, it is okay. If it is pleasing you, please do it. If somehow you are not able to do some Vaidika Kriya, don't do it. Alright? So, why am I telling all of this? Because anyway, Perumal will not keep an eye on all of these, right? Also, you know what is self-goal here? If you think we are doing something wrong, if you are doing something wrong by not doing Vishvadeva or by not ringing a bell, if that is a sin, then according to your own understanding of Vatsalya, Perumal will not he will not keep an eye on our wrongdoings. So why are you worrying about it? Okay, till here was my originally intended content, but before I could record this video, just before recording this video, I saw his response to my earlier video, vishvAsabhangaH part 1, where I had challenged him to show at least one place where Manavala Mamunigal explicitly said Vedavyasa is a direct avatara, Sakshad avatara, not an Avesha avatara, and he has contradicted Parachara Bhattar. For it, he has given this. Alright. He has quoted from the Satvata Samhita Vyakhya, the Satvata Samhita Bhashyam of Alasinga Bhattar. I have given you the picture of those text of those places. Alright, all of this is spoken in his video. You may go and see his video. So here he says, Nanvevam Gatikalpanam Ajnana Mulakam. So I'll set the context here. In agama, in the name of the setting context, he has not clarified that in his video. So let me clarify that to you first. In agama, there are these yuha deities who are worshipped. If you have come across Vasudeva Punyaha Vachanam, then these deities will be very familiar to you, right? So all of these Padmanabha, Nyagrodashayi, all of these people, all of these yuha deities are worshipped. The question here is whether they are main avataras or avesha avataras. Why this question? Because in Adhibudya Samhita there are more number of deities mentioned. In Vishvaksena Samhita 36 are only mentioned, whether it should be 36 or 40, 41, whatever it is, or 39. So what is the exact number? Why this difference? So for that, Alasinga Bhattar has given all this commentary. The commentary where he is showing is in this context. Alright, and let me not get into, he has already told, if you have a problem with Alasinga Bhattar, please settle it with him. Definitely, I am very much sensible to settle a problem with Alasinga Bhattar with him, not with you. Definitely I will not settle his problem with you, right? But I will definitely challenge you again, because it is your problem. You have caused this. I will tell you why. So he says, so in this context, while commenting, he says, Alasinga Bhatta says, in one Samhita there are less number of deities, in one Samhita there are more number of deities because of Gauna Mukhya Pradurbhavas. In that sense, the Purvapakshi seems to ask, Nanvevam Gatika Kalpanam Ajnana Mulakam Yataha Padmanabho Dhruvanantaha iti Ahirbudnyokta Anupurvyam Stitasya Vedavit Shabdasya Vedavyaso Artha iti Ramyaja Matrumunibihi Nagyatam. Manavala Mamunigal does not know that Vedavit means Vedavyasa. Tasya Vedavyasa Paratva Nirnayaka Sahasranama Bhashya Vakyam Api Nadhitam iti chet. Sahasranama Bhashya also shows that Vedavit means Vedavyasa. This point is not with Vishvas, this is with Alasinga Bhattar. I can settle with him. Of course, this was written some century ago. All I am saying is, this I can take up with people who have expertise there. But further, he says, Kimare Moda Griganya Tesham Acharyanam Ashayam Aviditva Doshayasi Krishna Dvaipayanam Vyasam Vidhi Narayanam Prabhu Kohyanyo Bhuvi Maitreya Mahakam Bharat Krit Bhavet. This Vishnu Purana shloka is taken and says, Ityukta Mahamahimni Sutra Kriti Shri Krishna Dvaipayane Sakshat Bhagavad Avataratvam Eva Tesham Abhimatam. This is Alasinga Bhatta's commentary. Vishvas says, I have gone by this commentary and made that statement. Dear Vishvas, go and play your own video again and see whether you have said this statement is made by Alasinga Bhatta. So if your own people are telling this, then leave it. Have you told that way, or have you said? For example, Manavala Mamunigal establishes that Vedavyasa is not an Avesha Avatara and contradicts your own Acharya. I have given both of these wordings. Please go and see your own video, what you have spoken. What meaning does your word, or does your statement project? You are saying you did not do anything wrong. Ityukta Mahamahimni Sutra Kriti Shri Krishna Dvaipayane Sakshat Bhagavad Avataratvam Eva Tesham Abhimatam. Again, the Purvapakshi seems to say, Nanu tarhi Vyasasya Avesha Avataratvam Mumukshubhihi Anupasyatvam cha Taireva Kathamuktam in Tattvatrayam. In this place he shows my video and says, see, whatever you have shown here is taken by the Purvapakshi here, and says, अनुपास्यत्वञ्च तैरेव कथमुक्तम् इति चेत् सत्यं न तत् कृष्णद्वैपायनविषयम् अपि तु विष्णुपुराणोक्त 28 संख्याक व्यासान्तरविषयं. So there are 28 Vyasas mentioned in Vishnu Purana. This could refer to some other Vyasa. Vyasa, அதாவது வேதத்தை வியசித்த வேதங்களை வியசித்த வியாசனும் was the word, was the statement of Manavala Mamunigal, right? So he did not say Krishna Dvaipayanam, he said Vyasanam. It could be any of those 28. Why Krishna Dvaipayana? For him, Manavala Mamunigal, for Manavala Mamunigal, Krishna Dvaipayana is Pradhana Avataram. This is, he says, in Virodha of Parashara Bhattarya's commentary, Sahasranama Bhashya. No, that is not the case. In Sahasranama Bhashya also, Bhattar says Vyasa is the Avesha Avataram only. Following that, Manavala Mamunigal also clearly means Krishna Dvaipayana only. Alright, he does not mean any other Vyasa. He clearly says, he clearly means Krishna Dvaipayana only. You say that Manavala Mamunigal contradicts Parashara Bhattar in this place. Parashara Bhattar says he is Gauna Avatara. Mamunigal says he is Mukhya Avatara. Right? Let me ask you here, if you understand this the statement here, it says Ityukta Ahirbudnyokta Anupurvyam Stitasya Vedavid Shabdasya Vedavyaso Arthaha iti Ramyaja Matrumunibihi Nagyatam. Why did this statement come into place in the first place? That means to say Vedavit Shabda in Ahirbudnya Samhita means Vedavyasa, and it is a Mukhya Avatara. Why is Manavala Mamunigal not taking it? Yes or no? Because Ramyaja Matrumunibihi eva Tattvatraya Vyakhyane Kritam. When all of these Mukhya Gauna Pradurbhavas are told by Manavala Mamunigal, that is when he asks Vedavit Shabdasya Vedavyaso Artha iti Ramyaja Matrumunibihi Nagyatam. He does not know because he has not read the Vedavyasa Paravakya in Sahasranama Bhashya. So what is his conclusion? Even in Sahasranama Bhashya, Vedavit means it is the Mukhya Pradurbhava of Vedavyasa only. Am I making sense to you? If not, please rewind, play in 0.5 speed and see. Alright, Manavala Mamunigal is making a statement there that there is Mukhya Avatara, Gauna Avatara. Mukhya Avataras are only to be worshipped, Gauna Avataras are not Upasyas. When that is said, there comes the Purva Pakshi and says Vedavit Shabdasya Vedavyaso Arthaha iti Ramyaja Matrumunibihi Nagyatam. Why your Manavala Mamunigal does not know that Vedavit means Vedavyasa? Why is he calling him a Gauna Avatara? For that he says Krishna Dvaipayana is not the one. It is other Vyasa. Krishna Dvaipayana is Mukhya Avatara only. Tesham Abhimatam means here including Parashara Bhattar according to Alasinga Bhatta. Alright, Tesham Abhimatam. Because why am I doing all this circus? Not really necessary, but you have conveniently left out the next part of the text. Right? So to set the context for the next part of the text, I have to tell all this. Because in the you have stopped till here. Vishnu Puranokta Ashtavimshati Sankhyaka Vyasantara Vishayam. So therefore, I have shown you the text. You say, boss, please see the very next paragraph. He says, Nanucha, you have it in your GitHub also. You are partly displaying that on your screen. Why did you not show it? Nanucha Sahasranama Bhashye Tatra Pradurbhavaha Kechit Sakshat Yatha Matsyakurmadayah Anyetu Rishyadi Vishishta Purushadhishtanena Yatha Bhargava Ramakrishna Dvaipayanadayah iti. In the Sahasranama Bhashyam, is it not said that Krishna Dvaipayana is a Gauna Avatara, not a Mukhya Avatara, not a Sakshad Avatara, but Anya Avatara? Is it not mentioned that way? Is the question. If this question has to come, then here first of all that statement should have been made that Parashara Bhattar considers Krishna Dvaipayana as Mukhya Avatara. Only then this comes up, this Akshepa can come up. No, but this is how Sahasranama Bhashya is, for which he clarifies in the next saying, Krishna Dvaipayanasya Aveshyavataratva Muktam Tasya Kagatihi iti chet. So how do you understand this? If you ask, then tat kalpa bhedena avatirna Krishna Dvaipayana Vishayam Bodhyam Anyatha Acharyokti Virodhat. Do you see this Acharyokti Virodhat? What is that Acharyokti? Krishna Dvaipayana is the main avatara, Sakshad avatara. So here if you say Krishna Dvaipayana is a Gauna avatara, then understand that to be Krishna Dvaipayana in a Kalpantara. Otherwise it is against his own words. Till here do you understand? If you understand this much, then whether Alasinga Bhatta is in line with our Acharyas or not is not the question here. Whether Mamunigal is contending with Parashara Bhattar or not is the question. Parashara Bhattar also seems to say Krishna Dvaipayana is a Mukhya Avatara. Manavala Mamunigal is also have shown to be written that Krishna Dvaipayana is a Mukhya Avatara. So both of them are in line there. How do you say Manavala Mamunigal opposes your own Acharya Parashara Bhattar? On what basis? यथा तत्पत्रया व्याख्याने बुद्धस्य साक्षात् अवतारत्वम् आचार्यहृदये प्रतिपादितं विश्वक्सेन संहितादिषु तस्य आवेशावतारत्वम् उक्तम् उभयोः विरोधः कल्पभेने परिहरणीय इति व्याख्यातं तद्वत् ह्यापि इति सन्तोष्टव्यम् आयुष्मता. You conveniently left this out because it is very easy for you to say and conclude, see, I have shown you this proof. The moment you conclude with that statement, everyone will start believing, oh yeah, Vishvas is true. This is the quality of your understanding. Alright, even with this, the Krishna Dvaipayanam Vyasam Vidhi Narayanam Prabhu, is it whether the Sakshat Bhagavata Avatara, is that understood that way? Here I have the Vishnu Chitta Vyakhyana of that shloka. Here he says very clearly, Anena Vartamanena Narayanamshena Dvaipayanena Nidarshana Bhutena Samasteshu Chaturyugeshu Vedaparagaireva Shakha Vedan Rachitan Avadharaya Ityarthaha. So here he very clearly says Narayana Amshena Dvaipayanena. Narayana says Sakshad Avataram is not told here. Narayana Amshena Dvaipayanena is clearly shown. This is by Engal Alvan, who lived much before Mamunigal time. So there is no way Mamunigal could have accepted that Krishna Dvaipayana is a Mukhya Avatara. No way. Absolutely no way. So Vyasa in his Tattvatraya commentary clearly means Krishna Dvaipayana only. And here claiming Ramanuja claiming tower, oh my God, for that you said I have shown you the pramanam, and you are showing a movie as a pramanam for Aitihyam, and you say Lakshmi Tatacharya has acted in it, Swami has acted in it, M.A. Alvar Swami has acted in it, and many more Ramanujacharya Swami, that is Embar Swami in his Purvashramam, the previous Embar Swami in his Purvashramam, he has acted in it. So all of these people are there, so therefore that is pramanam. Whatever they say is true, that is why they are acting. So Aitihya is also taken that way. Dude, shocking this is. You are showing a movie which is made for an entertainment purpose and which is directed by a non-Vaishnava. Do you think in movies whatever these people advise is taken by directors? The directors always have their final say, final word. Whether you want it or not, that is how the movie goes. That is why he is in place. Director is in place. Right? You are showing that movie as a pramanam for Ramanuja climbing the tower and shouting the mantra. And you have shown Atkondavilli Jeers. Atkondavilli, he is called Atkondavilli Jeer. not Atkondavilli Jiyar, Atkondavilli Jiyar. Alright, Atkondavilli Govindaraja, no, sorry, not Jiyar, Govindaraja Iyengar. Atkondavilli Govindaraja Iyengar, he has written a book, he has written many books in English. He has written this book where he has said secrecy, the vow of secrecy was totally left out. All of this has been explained many times by many people in many forums. Manavala Mamunigal has written this in his Upadesha Ratnamala. He says, that possible. ஓரான் வழியா உபதேசித்தார் முன்னோர் ஏறார் எதிராசர் தம் இன்னொருளால் ஆசையுடையோர்க்கெல்லாம் ஆரியர்கள் கூறும் என்று வேசி வரம்பருத்தார் பின். In this Pashuram and all, it is very clearly mentioned. Even in the commentaries, it is very clearly mentioned. Emberumanar did not abide by the standard of secrecy that was there till then. That is all it means. He loosened that hold on secrecy. Let me ask you, Vishvas, how many Vaishnavas do you know, or how many, you including you, how many Vaishnavas have done paricharya of your Acharya like Emberumanar did for Tirukotiyur Nambi? How many of you have done like that? And how many of you have done so much Shushrusha to get all the meanings? Were you all tested so much, so harshly? Were you all tested so harshly to be given that meaning? You were given just like that. You went, fell at their feet. After a few words, your Acharya said, okay, come, we will do Pancha Samskaram. He did Pancha Samskaram, gave the mantram. Did you do all of this circus to get the Pancha Samskaram done in the first place, or to get the mantra Upadesham in the first place? Realize that is what Ramanujacharya has done to you and to me, to all these Sri Vaishnavas here. He did not want us to go through that difficulty. He definitely knew that would not give any result in this Kali Yugam. That is the revolution he did. He is a revolutionary, no doubt. We take pride in it. We take pride in it that he is a revolutionary. Only because he removed that Anuvritti Prasannatvam, we are all able to get the mantra so easily today. Of course, this also has made people very complacent. That is different thing. But people who are truly desiring of those meanings, they are able to easily get that mantra and its meaning only because of Emberumanar. Whether you trust that Aidihyam or not is different. But whether you want or not, that is a fact. That is a fact. Only because of that Mahan, today you are talking so much. If you are talking against that Mahan, then there is no bigger apacharam than that. Please understand. An advice at the end of this video, this is the conclusion of this video. I have a piece of advice for people like you. First, stop mocking at people. You know what? I could have mocked you left, right and center in these two videos for all the funny things that you have said, for all the goof-ups that you have done. I could have mocked you left, right and center. But that is not in my Samskriti. That is not in my upbringing. Even when our elders are mocked like this, see those elders, you have mocked Prativadi Bhayankaram Periyaswami. Do you even know what title he had? It was not just Mahopadhyaya like what your so-called Vidwans have. He had the title as Mahimopadhyaya from Kashi. Alright? His intellect is not something that is worthy of being examined by people like you also. Your intellect is nowhere. Alright? He was not given a Padma Bhushana for nothing. Alright? So, first thank God, thank your gods, thank your Acharyas, thank everyone, because You are not living in a time when that Swami was alive. If all of these childish arguments, all the things that I have shown here in these two videos, if Swami had seen all of these, he would have ripped you apart, torn you into pieces, hung you upside down in all his writings. You would definitely not have it would not have been possible for you to take those criticisms. Please understand their stature. Alright? Please understand their stature. Stop mocking people first. Whether it is your junior, whether it is your equal, or whether they are elders, stop mocking at people. You don't even know what your peanut brain is doing to you, pushing more into samsara. And whether it is a Tengalai or Vadagalai, I am advising Bharatan, whoever it is, Varadan, Bharatan, and this Vishvas and Co. Whoever is this, whether it is a Tengalai or Vadagalai, it is not at all important for me. I advise everyone alike. Bharatan, please understand this point as well. This is for you also, not just for Vishvas Vasuki. Whether it is Tengalai or Vadagalai, please stop spreading hatred among people. Please stop developing hatred towards other Acharyas and Vaishnavas. You are going to be rotting in the samsara forever with that apachara. There is no way out. No way out. No way out. Stop spreading hatred. There is no bigger apacharam than that. Whether you are at Tengalai or Vadagalai, that does not matter. There have been stalwarts in both kalais. I have undergone training under both kalais, so I know people. I am not against Vadagalai, I am not pro Tengalai, nothing. I am pro Acharyas, that is all. Calling out names, no. That is not Samskriti for us. Respect everyone, follow your own. It does not matter whether everyone falls in line with you or not. You may be practicing the highest dharma in this world. Practice, that is all. Don't make fun of others for not practicing, because you are not the custodian of Brahmanyam, dude. When I go to Sri Vaikuntham, the Dwarapalakas will not sit and ask me whether Vishvas has approved you as Brahmana or not. Has Vishvas approved you as Brahmana? I will allow you inside. Otherwise, go back. You be born in samsara again. No one is going to ask me there. Your approval or disapproval holds no significance at all. Who the joker are you to approve? Whether one person is a Brahmana or not, whether one person is knowledgeable or not. World will be much more peaceful when you start respecting others. Realize and acknowledge the fact that dharma is beyond your understanding. Don't be with this egotistic mindset, my frame of mind, saying I know everything. There is nothing that I cannot know. No, you don't even know one bit of it. Elders are only our refuge. Follow what your Acharya says. Don't worry. If your Acharya says leave off Aitihyam, leave. Who cares? Who cares whether you take Aitihyam or not as Pramana? I care 2 hoots. It is up to you whether you want to take it as Pramanam or not. But the fact remains that in all the Granthas it is there. Aitihyams are there. The fact remains. Even your Kalakshepa Acharya cannot say Kalakshepam without telling Aitihyams. And don't take the trouble of criticizing others. You know why? Because if you do that, you will do so at the expense of exposing your own ignorance, like what you have done, you have seen in these 2 videos. Realize the fact that you are not the sole custodian of knowledge. There are greater people who have lived in the past, both kalais, who have lived in the past, spent their entire lifetime for the sake of dharma and instructed the same to others. It's okay if you cannot follow them or understand them, but don't ever talk ill of them. These are the pieces of advice that I would like to give to all people there, whether it is Tengalai or Vadagalai, whoever is into this pursuit of talking ill about others, trying to establish own superiority. Please understand these things first. And there is a moral to remember. A beautiful Subhashita in Sanskritam, it says, Durata shobhate murkho lambashata patavritah tavaccha shobhate murkho yavat kinchin na bhashate. A fool looks very nice, with all Lambashata Payodara, the Patavritaha, he has this long shawl, that, this and all. He looks very fine. All that is fine. Tavaccha shobhate murkaha. He looks fine only as long as yavat kinchinna bhashate, as long as he does not open his mouth to talk anything. The moment he opens his mouth to talk something, he exposes his own ignorance. We have seen that in 2 videos now, close to 3 hours, 1.5 hours of the first video, and this is 1.5 hours now. So 1.5, 3 hours of ignorance we have seen. So the moment you open your mouth, only ignorance comes out. So please safeguard your respect by not speaking. Please shut your mouth and guard your respect. Alright? I cannot go beyond this. So having said that, you are welcome to post 100 or 1000 other videos on in response to these 2 videos. No problem. I care 2 hoots for your videos. I don't have any problem. I don't care about your videos anymore. And I hope people have understood how much worth your videos hold, because I have proven point to point. I have proven what is the quality of your research, what is the quality of your understanding, what is the quality of your interpretations, what is the quality of your criticism, how much personal you can get in criticism. All these have been shown in these 2 videos. I need not say anymore. So whatever you can blabber in the upcoming videos in response to this, you are free to do. Absolutely no problem. Emberumanar himself could not convince one Uyakonda. Who am I to think that I can convince you? I am not here to convince you. And even after Emberumanar has written the Sri Bhasham, even today Advaita still lives. Buddhism still lives. All of that is still living. He did not, the thing that all our Acharyas say he eradicated all of those, does not mean today Advaitam is not there in the world at all. It is there. But people who are Madhyasthas know that Advaita holds no water, as good as that, right? In comparison to Vishishtadvaita, that holds no water. This is very well understood. That is the import of that, right? Very similarly, these 2 videos have clearly shown the quality of your content. I need not say anymore. I will not take the pains of putting any more response videos. So stay happy. Even if you wait for 100 years, you will not get even one response. So the point I am trying to make is, I am done showing the quality of your content. Alright, so with that, I conclude this video. I conclude this response video. Lokacharyaya Gurave Krishnapadasa Sunave Samsara Bhogi Sandashta Jiva Jivatave Namaha Vali Ulagashiriyan Vali Avan Mannukulam Vali Mudumbayannum Managaram Vali Manam Shulna Perinbamalgu Mihanalla Inam Shul Nirukkum Irukku Vodu Mudumbai Ulagashanaru Yedu Maravada Vemberuma Nidi Uluva Chiranallur Mamarayon Badam Tuluvarku Varatuyar Pilla Lokacharyar Tiruvadigalai Sharanam Jiyar Tiruvadigalai Sharanam Acharan Tiruvadigalai Sharanam.